Section 3.1, Part 5, we're going to be graphing quadratics by vertex formula. And we've learned how to graph just by plotting some points. We've also learned to graph by using completing the square method. And now we're going to use the vertex formula method. When you look at a quadratic, it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And so in this format, up till now, we've not been able to see what the vertex really is. We had to change it by completing the square. But there is a way to find the vertex. You can take negative b over 2a, and you can take this value and put it back into the function, and you can find out what the y value is. So that is the formula for finding the vertex. And once we know the vertex and we know if it opens up or down, then all we have to find is the y-intercept, and that'll give us an idea of how wide that quadratic is, that parabola is. So our line of symmetry, if we have a quadratic like this, or we have a quadratic like this, no matter which way it is, the line of symmetry cuts through the middle. And it is x equals that x value on the vertex, which is negative b over 2a. We also know by looking at this that if we look at the a and it's bigger than 0, it's going to opens up. And if this a is negative, it's going to opens down. Another thing we can tell is if we look at something called the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. You might remember that. That is what's under the square root symbol in the quadratic formula. But that is what we call the discriminant. If that number, if b squared minus 4ac is bigger than 0, then it's going to cross the x-axis in two places. Kind of like this. It crossed the x-axis in two places. If the b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then it's just going to cross the x-axis in one place, like this. Just right here. And if the b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, it's a negative number, and in the quadratic formula that would be a negative number under a square root, that means it's not going to cross the x-axis at all. So it'll look something like this. You see, it is a parabola, but it's not crossing the x-axis. That is the way you learn to graph a quadratic by using the vertex formula. So now we're going to do one for practice. So I'm going to erase this board. And let's look at an example. Negative 3 x squared plus 12x minus 8. And that's equal to f of x. Okay, so first of all, I can tell what my a is. My a is negative 3. So this parabola is going to open down because it's a negative number. Now, if I want to find the vertex, I take, remember, negative b over 2a, and then I put that back into the function to find the y value, because a vertex has a x and y value. All right, so negative b over 2a is going to be, this is my b, so negative b is going to be negative 12 over 2 times a, which a is negative 3. So I have negative 12 over negative 6, which is 2. So 2 comma something is going to be my vertex. Well, to find that something, I take 2 and put it back into the function. So negative 3 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 minus 8 equals negative 3 times 4 is negative 12 plus 24 minus 8. Add those, I get 12 minus 8 is 4. So if I put 2 in, I get 4. So this is my vertex. All right, here's my vertex. Here I know it opens down. Whoops. All right, so let's draw it here. 2, 4 is about right here, and I know it's going down. So it's going to cross the x-axis in 2 places. Okay, so I want to know how wide it is. So again, I go back to the y-intercept, which is set x equal to 0. If I put x equal to 0 up here, I end up with my y-intercept is negative 8. Right here. Okay, so I can see that my parabola is going to go down, cut through that point, and it's kind of narrow, so it's narrow on this side too. So my graph would look something like that. I know it's not very artistic, but that's probably about the best I can do. Okay, that's the end of this section.